And as people come on to the video, I'll just let you know that we will be using a couple of blocks today, and we might use a strap as well. So if you have those around, you could also, instead of 2 blocks, use a chair. That'd be better for you. So let's make our way over to our mats, and we can begin sitting or lying down, your choice. And whatever you're doing, whether you're lying down or sitting, let's begin by just grounding ourselves. So spending the first few moments just feeling our body's relationship to the ground, all the parts of the body that contact the ground beneath you. Just recognize that, feeling that connection. And you can have your eyes open or closed. If it's comfortable, let's close our mouths and breathe in and out through the nose. And let's go ahead and just dive into our breathing. So feel the breath flowing in through your nose and dropping into your body, into your lungs. Feel the breath expanding. And then feel the breath releasing and emptying out. There's not really, a wrong way and a right way to breathe. Like, the important thing is that we're breathing. But there's advantages to slowing down the breath and really focusing on it. It's a really lovely tool for focusing our mind. So let's do that. Let's focus our mind on deep breathing, the experience of it and how it feels. Slowing down the breath has this calming effect. And releasing the breath all the way out has that ability to calm the nervous system. So we'll do this for a little bit longer, just focusing our awareness on the feeling of the breath moving in the body. And see if you can just focus on that and not let your mind wander off to thinking about other things. And then the next time your breath releases all the way out, can you transition to a more natural breath rhythm and maintain your focused awareness just on your breathing? Mind is going to want to wander off and think about other things. And then just bring it back and see if you can just focus your full awareness and attention on your natural breath. It would seem like such a simple, easy thing to do. but it's often quite difficult to just focus on the breath. So let's do it for a little bit longer. One of the important things about mindfulness of the breath is the fact that we have to try when our mind wanders, when we bring our attention back, to try to be not judgmental or harsh with ourselves, but to just bring ourselves back with kindness. And begin again. Great. So can we bring that focused awareness now to checking in with how we're feeling this morning, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually. And with that understanding of how we're feeling, let's consider what we're needing today. What would be something beneficial to us to focus on or incorporate or invite in? We can do that for the next hour. We could do that for the rest of the day, your choice, but maybe pick one thing that you'd like to cultivate and breathe it in. And let's try to weave that into our practice this morning. So when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes, and we'll make our way down onto the floor if you're not already there. And as you're lying back, you're going to need a block nearby. Go ahead and begin just hugging your knees in and gently swaying a bit side to side. Just loosen up your low back. And then come center and release your feet down. Let's take that block now and place it the medium width between the thighs, kind of halfway from knees to body, and kind of squeeze onto that block. And then as you're just squeezing the block, I want you to take your arms overhead like a V. So reach your arms overhead like a V. And when we take our arms overhead, the tendency for a lot of us is to let the ribs pop up toward the ceiling and the back to kind of arch off the floor. So as your arms are out in a V, can you knit your ribs, your low ribs, down into your belly so that the movement is a stretch for the shoulders rather than an arching of the back? So best you can, ribs knitting into the belly as the arms are out in a V. And then the arm movement, we're going to just slide the arms down close to the floor. And I want you to squeeze your elbows into your waist so that you're feeling your inner arms, your kind of your triceps hugging in, and you're kind of activating the muscles like that are along the ribs, right? So arms go out in a V, and then you're going to hug the elbows in towards your waist. So start with your arms out in a V. And then we're going to lift the feet up off the floor and bring the knees over the hips. And then we're going to lower the feet down. And we're just going to tap the toes. So as we bring the knees up, we're going to squeeze the elbows into the waist. And then as we lower the toes down, we're going to reach the arms out and breathe. So we're going to exhale and hug the elbows in and lift the knees. And we're going to inhale and reach the arms out. And exhale and squeeze the elbows in. And inhale and reach out. And your arms are close to the floor. They might be sliding on the floor. They might just be a little bit off the floor. But as your arms reach out, try not to let your back arch. So we're reaching out and we're lowering the toes, and then we're hugging in as we lift the knees. And let's do a few more of these. Now we can breathe in and out through the nose, ideally. Let's do 2 more. Inhaling out and exhaling in. And inhaling out and exhaling in. And then let's go ahead and reach for the block, and you can set that aside and release your feet to the floor. Take a moment and take a breath. And then we're going to take our feet off the floor again. We'll have bent knees, and we're just going to let those bent knees drop out into a straddle. And then I want you to take your arms like cactus arms on the floor. So right angle arms straight out from your shoulders. And we're going to bring the arms up so the elbows are overhead. Your palms and elbows are kind of reaching in towards each other. And at the same time, we're going to bring the knees in. And then we're just going to open arms and knees out. So we're going to bring everything in and open everything out. Bent knees, bent arms. So as we come in, we could curl up. We could curl up head, neck, and shoulders and lift the hips. And then we can lower down and open and breathe. So we're going to curl up, lift the hips, lift the head, neck, and shoulders, and then inhale and open out. And exhale and curl up, and inhale and open out. And keep going here. So a lot going on here. Working a lot of muscles here. Can you do a few more of these? So I have a tendency to blow the breath out on exertion, but I'm trying to change that to exhaling through the nose. Maybe that'll work for you today, breathing in and out through the nose. Let's do 2 more. Nice work. All right, you can let your feet come down. You can let your arms relax for a moment. Just recover for a moment. Notice how you're feeling and take a breath. And then let's roll to the side. And we're going to just stay down on our side. We can support our head with our bottom arm or with a pillow or a blanket or something. We're going to bend the knees forward, stacking the knees one on top of the other. And that's going to stack the hips. We can put our hand on the top hip. Let's lift the top leg and to about the height of the hip. And then we're going to flex the foot and take that leg forward. And then we're going to lift it up and down. And then I want you to straighten the leg out so that it's in line with your body. And the same thing, lift the leg up and down. And then we're going to point the toe and take the leg a little bit behind. And the trick here is not to let your hip roll back. Keep your hip on top of the other hip, but the leg is behind you, toe is pointed. And then we're going to lift up and down 2 times here. And then we're going to bend the knee. We're going to press the heel forward and lift and lower. And then we're going to straighten the leg, still with a flexed foot, lift and lower. And then point the toe and take it behind without your hip rolling back. And we're going to lift it 2 times here. Up and down. Bend the knee, height of the hip, press out through the heel, lift and lower. Straighten the leg in line with the body and lift and lower. And then point the toe, take it back without your hips rolling back. And let's lift and lower 2 times here. Again, bend the knee, bring the heel forward, lift and lower. Straighten the leg and lift and lower. And then point the toe, take it back, lift and lower 2 times here. We're just going to do this one more time through. Bend the knee, press the heel forward, lift and lower. Straighten the leg and lift and lower. And then take the leg behind you, point the toe, lift and lower 2 times. Great. All right, let's drop that knee on top of the other knee. Push ourselves up, swing our legs around to the other side, and we'll do that whole series here. So knees are bent, one on top of the other, hand on the top hip. We're going to lift that top leg up to the height of the hip, press the heel forward, and lift and lower that leg. And then we'll bring that leg straight in line with the body and lift and lower. And then keeping the hip stacked, we're going to point the toe and take the leg behind, and we'll lift and lower 2 times. Bend the knee, bring it in, press the heel forward, lift and lower. Take the leg straight and lift and lower. Don't let your hip roll back as the leg goes behind. Point the toe, lift and lower 2 times. Again, bend and press forward, lift and lower. Straight and lift and lower. Behind, point the toe, lift and lower 2 times. And one more time through. Press the heel forward, lift and lower. Straighten the leg and lift and lower. And point the toe, take the leg back and lift and lower 2 times. Nice work. Good job waking up the muscles of the hips. All right, let's come on to all fours. And as we're here, we're just going to do a couple of cat-cows, just on your own, however you like. Just take a little time to extend your spine and flex your spine. You can do it in any speed that you like. You can add some forward and backward motion or a little bit of side to side. You can move your shoulders or your hips. So whatever feels nice for your body to loosen up the spine here. Just move from cat to cow a couple more times here. Letting your spine move with your breath. Eventually transitioning back to your flat back. And then we'll begin to transition to downward facing dog. So go ahead and make your way to down dog. Pressing into your hands here. I say that every time because it's so important to create that foundation and spread that weight out. Thumbs, knuckles, index fingers, all around. Create some space across your shoulder blades. Draw those hips up and back. Just release your head a few times. Let it shake. And free up your neck, base of your skull. We can pedal the heels down a bit, bending a knee and pressing the other heel down. Feel the bottom part of the calf and the ankles loosening, stretching here. And then let's bend both our knees, draw the hips way up and back, breathe in and out. And then walk the hands back towards the feet, lower your heels down. Really nice and planted through the feet here. Take a breath into the upper back. Allow the breath to release out. Then draw the belly in and begin to roll yourself up. Nice gentle way to, again, mobilize the spine here. Eventually coming all the way up to stand. And then we're going to turn towards our device. So I want us to think about our posture for a few moments here. And so when we stand tall, we want to always think about our connection to the ground. And then when we think about standing tall, our tendency is to kind of lift the chin. So rather than lifting the chin, I'd like you to just take a finger and place it at the base of your chin and kind of push your chin in and up. All right, so we're pushing the chin in and up, trying to create more length in the back of the neck. So that's going to be one thing we're going to do, is have sort of a little chin tuck and a lengthening in the back of the neck. Then, I didn't say anything about having a wall nearby, but I'd like you, if you can, to find a wall or a door, something that you can stand up against. And I want you to stand close to the wall, like not your feet against the wall, because you need some room for your bum and stuff, but really pretty close to the wall where you can comfortably be standing close to a wall. And then think about grounding through the feet. Think about that little chin tuck so the back of your neck is long. And then place your hands right alongside your body. Place your hands into the wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to press into the wall with the hands. So the muscles in the back of the arms are going to be working. And this pressing into the wall would push your body forward, but we're not going to push the body forward. We're going to think about grounding down and standing tall as we're pressing into the wall. So there's kind of a sense of pushing yourself away from the wall, but you're going to stay close to the wall. As we press our hands into the wall and we work the back of the upper arm, can you feel a broadening from shoulder to shoulder? So we want to kind of create that strength, those muscles that tend to round forward now. We're kind of strengthening them in the position with the shoulders nice and broad. We don't want to roll the shoulders back, but we want to have them kind of broad across, right? Collarbones broad. And the chin is tucked, the back of the neck is long here. So let's just breathe in and out as we continue to press. You're pressing pretty strongly here. And then you can just let your arms relax. All right, great. So let's come to stand at the front of our mats. And can we find that same sense of openness across the shoulders, length in the back of the neck as we root down and stand tall here. And then let's reach the arms out and inhale and reach up. And we'll exhale and swan dive forward. Yeah, just coming into that nice forward fold. Again, your head is free. You can kind of shake it a little bit here. Let's bring hands onto shins and inhale and lengthen through the crown of the head. And then we'll exhale and fold again. We'll bring our hands to the floor. Let's step back to downward facing dog. As you ground down here, draw the hips up and back and take a breath. We'll exhale and lower to straight arm plank. Let's spend a little time here, pushing down, lengthening heel to crown. So we have some options here. We can stay just like this. We could lower onto knees. Could you take one hand and tap the opposite shoulder and take the other hand and tap the opposite shoulder? So we're just doing a little weight bearing here for the shoulders. So we're tapping the opposite shoulder and we're tapping the opposite shoulder. Just a couple more like that. If your wrists give you trouble and you need to be on your forearms, you could just maybe lift a forearm and lift a forearm. All right, so then let's hold plank, take a breath, and then we're going to try a little bend in the elbows. Again, we could be on our knees here. We'll take another breath, and then let's all drop to knees and lower onto belly and find our prone mountain. We'll slide the heels of the hands back and lengthen through the crown of the head. Let's inhale up to baby cobra, pulling the heart forward here. We'll lower back down. Again, let's inhale up to baby cobra, and we'll lift the hands a little bit off the floor. Let's lift the elbows and squeeze in, and then release the hands, release the chest. This time, leaving the hands down, we'll start lifting up into baby cobra. And if we like, we can pull up a little bit higher, more forward into cobra. And then we'll lower back down. Let's push back to knees, curl the toes under and lift the knees, and lift the hips up and back to down dog. We'll breathe in and out here. Let's look a little forward and walk our feet up towards our hands. Plant our feet beneath us. And we'll sweep our arms out. Inhale and rise up, reach up. And exhale, arms down at our sides. Let's do that again. Find that nice tall posture, broad across the collarbones, long in the back of the neck. And we'll sweep the arms out and up, breathing in. Exhale and swan dive forward. Inhale and lengthen through the crown of the head, halfway lift. Exhale and fold over again. We'll bring our hands to the floor, step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Exhale to straight arm plank. Take a breath here. Exhale, maybe bend the elbows a bit. Take another breath here. Exhale and lower all the way down to belly. We'll inhale up to baby cobra or cobra. And exhale back down. And make our way up and back to downward facing dog. All right, from here, with our hands rooted down, let's take the right leg up in the air, breathing in. We'll bend that knee. Let's hug that knee up and in. And then can we look forward and step through to lunge? Maybe you drop to a knee and step the right foot forward. Get into a low lunge, hips sinking down, feet hip distance apart. And then let's come to externally supported lunge. So forearms on the front thigh here. So that back heel is pressing straight back and we're lengthening heel to crown. And then let's bring our hands to heart. So we have internally supported lunge. With the spine nice and long here, we'll take a breath. As we exhale, let's twist to the right. So twist the ribs around. Hands could stay to heart, or you could take the elbow to the outside of the knee and deepen that twist a bit more. Let's take a breath here, in and out. And then begin to unwind back to center. Get nice and long here. And then we're going to push into the front leg and straighten and bring hands to hips. Now we're going to bend the front knee forward and push down to straighten. Put a little tone in the belly here so that you support the low back. As you bend the front knee, as you push down to straighten. This time let's bend the front knee and keep it bent. We can drop our arms down, broaden across the collarbones, and then we'll sweep the arms out and up. Big breath in as we reach up. And then let's exhale our hands all the way down to the floor. You can drop to knees and go back to down dog, or just go back to down dog here. And we'll breathe in and out. You could stay here or take a break on your knees or flow into straight arm plank. Little bend in the elbows and then lowering down. Then inhaling up to baby cobra or cobra and exhaling back down and making the way up and back to down dog. From here, let's take the left leg up in the air, breathing in. And then bend that knee, hug it up and in, look forward and step that foot through to lunge. Or again, drop to the knee and step the foot forward. Get into your low lunge here. And then come into externally supported lunge. Once we're here, let's press back through the heel and lengthen through the crown of the head. One long line there. And then we can bring our hands to heart. Internally supported lunge. Let's take a breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to twist to the left. Hands could stay right where they are, or elbow to knee to deepen that twist a bit more. We'll take a breath here. And then let's unwind. As we're here, you can put your hand on the front knee. We're going to push into that front leg to straighten up. We'll bring our hands to hips, square our hips forward. Let's bend the front knee and push down to straighten. Bend the front knee, push the foot down to straighten. Two more. Bend the front knee, push down to straighten. This time we're going to bend that front knee, keep it bent, and then drop the arms, sweep them out and up and overhead. Reach up as you press back through that back heel. Breathe. And then exhale your hands all the way down. And make your way back to downward facing dog. Nice. Breathe in and out. Again, you could just stay here if you like, or take a little break, or we can flow. Straight arm plank. Lowering halfway down, all the way down. Inhaling up to baby cobra or cobra. Exhaling back down and making your way all the way up and back to down dog. We're going to breathe in and out here. And then let's walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering the heels down. From here, we're going to bend the knees and lower the hips. We're going to sweep the arms forward as we sit back in our chair. We're going to again bring our hands to heart and we're going to twist. So let's twist to the right. Just like before, we could keep our hands to heart, or you could take the elbow to the outside of the knee. You could drop the bottom arm down and lift the top arm up and take a breath. And then bring the hands back, come back to center. Take a breath here. Think about your spine nice and long, and then twist the other way. Hands could stay to heart, elbow to the outside of the knee, or dropping one arm down, reaching one arm up. Try to keep your knees parallel. Breathe in and out here. And then unwind, back to center. Let's reach the arms forward, reach the arms up, and then push into the feet and legs to inhale and rise. And exhale, arms down. Nice work. All right, we're going to pick up our 2 blocks now. And we're going to bring them to the front of our mat. And just set the blocks down so that your wrists are right under your shoulders as you're folded over here. The blocks could be high. They could be any height you like. They're just bringing the floor a little closer. So from here, I want you to take a big step back into a lunge with you. Let's start with our right foot. So we want to bring the blocks a little closer. So again, they're under, the wrists are under the shoulders. So we're in our lunge. Our feet are hip distance apart and our hips are dropped down. So let's keep the right hand on the block and just open the left arm up into a twist. Press down to reach up. And notice if your knee has opened out to the side. Let's try to keep the knee in line with the hip and the foot as you press down and reach up and breathe. Great. And then bring that arm down. All right, now take the back foot and plant it so that the heel is down. And then you're going to leave the blocks where they are. Let's try and straighten the front leg a little bit and then bend the front knee. So just work towards straightening that front leg. As you try and straighten that front leg, can you think about pulling the hip back a bit and then bend? So can we lengthen the spine here? Rather than being rounded, think about your spine long. As you try and straighten that front leg and bend the knee. And one more time, try and straighten that front leg and draw that hip back. And then you can put a little bend in the knee. Let's now leave the blocks, press into the feet and legs, and straighten our upper body up. So if we put our hands on our hips now, we can't totally square our hips to the front line of the mat since this right leg is behind. But we're going to kind of orient our shoulders right towards the front end of our mat and, orient ourselves forward in this way. So we're pressing down through the feet. We're standing nice and tall here. So again, broad across the collarbones, long through the back of the neck. Let's take a breath in and then begin to hinge forward from the crease of the front hip. So as we do this, you might be able to keep your front leg straight. You might have to bend that front knee a bit, and that would be fine. Move towards your flat back. See if you can pull that left hip back. And then can we push down to rise up again? Nice and tall, broad across the collarbones. Take a breath here. And again, hinge forward. Spine stays long. Front hip draws back. Nice and long here as we hinge over. Now, can we bring our hands back down onto the blocks? So see if you can lengthen your spine. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And again, now with the front leg straight, we're going to press down and lift the other arm up. Press down with your right arm, lift your left arm up. Draw that left hip back and breathe here. And then bring that arm down. Now, option to do that again, or if you want something a little more challenging, we could step the blocks forward and then lift the back leg up. And then same thing, reach right hand on the block, left arm opens out, press down and open into a twist. We'll breathe in and out here. And then we can bring the hand back down. Let's just bring that leg back, plant it beneath us. So we're in a forward fold. And let's just relax the arms, drop into a forward fold. So knees soft, arms, shoulders, and head just releasing down. Take a breath into the upper back. Let the breath go. And then just begin to roll yourself up until you're standing nice and tall. Okay, let's reach the arms out. Inhale and reach overhead. We'll exhale and swan dive forward. We'll bring our hands onto our blocks again. Wrists right beneath shoulders. And this time, let's take a big step back with the left foot. Bring your blocks in a little closer. So you're in a lunge position again. Hips drop down. Great. And then from here, left hand on the block, take the right arm out to your side, press down to open up into a twist. That right knee, if it's dropping open, bring it back in line with the hip and the foot. Take a breath here, and then bring that arm back down. Now we're going to try and plant the back foot. So it's really angled up towards the front corner of the mat, but the heel is down. And then could we work towards straightening the front leg and then bending the knee? And work towards straightening the front leg. And can you draw that right hip back as you do that a bit? And then bend the front knee. And then straighten. And then bend. All right. So as we straighten the front leg, can you try and lengthen your spine a bit here? And we can have a little bend in the front knee as we push into the feet and legs and straighten ourselves up. So again, we can square our shoulders to the front line of the mat. This left hip is going to be a little further back. So we're going to push down and stand up nice and tall and breathe. And then we're going to exhale and hinge forward. Keeping the spine long. Can you draw that right hip back as you bring your spine more parallel with the floor? And then push into the front foot to inhale and rise up. And then exhale and hinge forward. Nice and long. One more time, push down to inhale and rise up. This time we're going to exhale and hinge forward. And then we're going to reach for the blocks. And so we got our spine nice and long here. That leg as straight as we can, front leg as straight as we can get it. That front leg hip drawing back. And then let's place the hand on the left hand on the block. Take the right arm and open it out. Press down and inhale and open toward the ceiling. Broaden across your collarbones. Breathe in and out. And then bring that hand back down. You could do that again, or if you want a greater challenge, step the blocks more forward, press into the standing leg, lift the back leg up, and then try that same twist. Take the right arm out to the side, and then open and twist to the right, pressing down to reach up. Take a breath, and then come back down. All right, bend your standing leg and just swing that other leg down next to it. Relax into a forward fold. Bend your elbows, release your head. You can set the blocks aside and just have loose, floppy arms. Let's again take a breath into the upper back. Let the breath go. And then begin to roll yourself up. Great. Wonderful. All right, let's come to stand. We'll come into a wide stance. Let's turn the right foot in and turn the left foot out. We'll just bend and straighten the front knee a few times with that back foot and hip turned nicely in as we bend and straighten here. Feel that connection of both feet to the floor. And then the next time the front knee is bent, pause there. Let's try lifting that front heel just a teeny bit and feel the energy of that heel pulling back toward the midline. Just firing up the underline of that leg and into the pelvic floor. Take a breath here. And then relax that heel down. Let's tip the hips over now and bring this forearm on this front thigh. We'll take the other arm forward and sweep it overhead. Thumb up, pinky down. We'll roll the belly and chest under the arm and reach long through that top arm. Let's take a breath here. As we exhale, let's release the head to look down at the floor. Let's bring our hand on the front shin and then straighten that front leg. Take the arm that's overhead and reach it up toward the ceiling now. And then you could turn the belly and chest and the gaze towards your device. That bottom hand could stay on the shin or the hands could open up. Let's take a breath here, in and out. And then let's push down to rise up. Great. We're going to turn the feet forward and we'll go to the other side. Turn that back foot and hip in. Turn the other foot out. Let's bend and straighten the front knee a few times. Really feel your feet planted, connected. And then the next time the knee is bent, pause there. We're going to lift that front heel a teeny bit and feel as though we're pulling the heel back. Take a breath here with that energy of the heel pulling back. And then release the heel down. Let's go ahead and tip the hips over here, letting this front arm rest on the front leg. We'll take the other arm forward and sweep it up and overhead. Let's roll the belly and chest forward as we reach long through that top arm and breathe in. As we exhale, we're going to turn our gaze down towards that front foot. We're going to take the bottom hand onto the shin and we're going to start to straighten that front leg. Then reach the top arm up and roll the belly and chest towards your device. You could keep this hand supporting on the bottom shin or open the palm. Let's radiate out from center and open up and breathe. Nice. And then pushing down into the feet and legs, we'll inhale and rise up. Nice work. Turn your feet in. You can heel and toe your feet in or just jump your feet together. Great. Let's make our way down to the floor. So we're going to come down and I want us to try a reverse table. Now, a reverse table can be hard on the wrists. So if you have difficulty with your wrists, one thing that could help is to cushion your wrist, kind of elevate your wrist so your fingertips are off and your heel of your hand is on. If it's really too much for your wrists, you could do this down on your forearms, but it's going to be quite different for you. So, but modify if you need to. So we're going to start with our feet hip distance apart. Your heels are going to be a little forward of your knees, and then your hands are going to go behind you. So when the hands go behind, we don't want external rotation. That's hard on the shoulder joint. So we want a more internal rotation. You may not be able to turn your fingertips all the way in, but even straight out to the side would be preferable to fingers pointing back. So some degree of internal rotation with your arms behind. You can start with your elbows bent a little bit. That might facilitate the placement of your hands. And then, your heels a little bit forward of your knees, probably. So can we push into the feet and legs to lift up into a reverse table here? So we're going to push down with the hands. We're going to try and create space from shoulder to shoulder. We're going to push into the feet to try to lift the hips up. So this requires a lot of strength in the back of the legs, in the glutes. And so one option is to just be here. And you can take a break and lower down anytime you need to. Another layer would be to try to take one leg and extend it out without letting your hips lower too much. Put that foot back down. Try to keep the hips high. Extend the other leg out. And then put that foot back down. Can you keep your hips high and try it again? And put that foot down. Keep your hips high and extend the leg again. And put it down. Maybe you've had enough. Maybe you're ready to try one more. Extend the leg out and put the foot down. Other leg extend it out, and put it down. Nice work. You're going to lower down. You can straighten your legs and just go ahead and shake it out. Yeah, that works the shoulders in a different way and really works the back of the legs. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to lie back, and you're going to want to have your strap nearby now. So let's take that strap, and we're going to wrap it around the ball of the right foot. We're going to take that right leg up in the air, and we're going to hold the strap in 2 hands. Then we're going to take the other leg and straighten it out. The leg on the floor, let's bounce that knee a few times. And then when you're done bouncing the knee, just feel the leg loose, floppy, heavy, connected to the floor. So the leg is heavy. Imagine you had like a 50-pound sandbag resting on this thigh. So this thigh is immovable. It's heavy on the floor. It's not going to lift up. The knee's not going to lift up. The hip's not going to engage. This leg is just heavy on the ground. Okay. Then the leg up in the air. Start to let your leg fall away from you. So the foot is resting into the strap and your hands are holding your leg up. So your leg is relaxed. It's not holding itself up at all. Your hands holding the strap are holding your leg up. And let the leg fall away as far as it needs to go until your leg can be straight. And then with your hands, very slowly, incrementally, start to pull the leg more toward the ceiling. And we're all really different in how far we're going to be able to go. At some point, as we pull the leg more and more toward the ceiling, the leg is not going to be able to stay straight. The knee is going to start to bend. So when you get to that point where the knee starts to bend, then go back a little bit to that point where your leg can still be straight. And then you're pulling down on the strap. Now I want you to push your foot up into the strap. And you're resisting that motion by your hands pulling down. And then we're going to pull the foot into flexion. And you're going to resist that with the strength of your ankle as you're pulling down with your arms. So you're going to push against your arms to point your foot. And then you're going to pull down against the resistance of your ankle to flex your foot. So there's a lot of action here. Pushing against resistance and pulling against resistance. One more time like that. Push with resistance and then pull with resistance. Nice job. All right, put the 2 parts of the strap in one hand and open the other arm out to your side. And supporting that foot, begin to open that leg out to the side. So this heavy leg with the sandbag, nothing's going to happen to it. It's going to stay heavy and down. So how far can the leg go out to the side and maintain that heaviness of this left hip? So this left hip's not going to lift up at all. Go to the edge where you might lose that ability to keep the hip from turning, and then push your foot into the strap. So there's resistance there. There's action in that leg. And then bring that active extended leg back up toward the ceiling. You're pushing into the strap. Once the leg is up, pull down on the strap to flex your foot. Great. Okay, now this bottom leg, we're going to put it on the floor, the foot on the floor. This top leg, we're going to bend the knee and drop the ankle just below the knee, and then we'll take that strap off. Let's flex this top foot and then lift the bottom foot up off the floor, bringing the legs in towards us. And we can reach through and around and grab the back of the left thigh and hug it in towards us. Yeah. So you're pulling in. You might just continue pulling in, or you might explore taking the legs just a slightest amount to the side and back to center, and just a slight amount to the other side and back to center. Could you maybe pull in a little bit more and breathe in and out? And then release that bottom foot down. Release the top foot. We're going to change legs. So find your strap. Let's place it around the ball of the other foot, taking that leg up in the air. And then the other leg we're going to straighten out. Let's bounce the knee of the straight leg a few times and then just let it relax. And then the leg that's up in the air, we're going to let it fall away until it's straight and you're holding it up with your hands. And then you're going to, with that leg relaxed, you're going to really slowly, slowly start to lift it up toward the ceiling and paying attention to the point where the leg can't stay straight anymore and the knee begins to bend. And when you get to that point, go back a little bit to the point where your leg is still straight. And then push your foot up into the strap with resistance and then pull down to flex the foot with resistance. And do that a few more times. Push up, and it's hard to push up because your arms are pulling down. Pull down, and it's hard to flex because your leg is resisting that motion, your foot. 2 more times. Push up and pull down. Last one. Push up and pull down. Great. 2 parts of the strap in that left hand now, right arm out to your side. Right leg is very heavy. As that left leg opens out to the side, that right hip isn't going to lift or turn. It just stays down. How far can you take the left leg without losing that heaviness in the right leg? When you get to that point, push your foot into the strap. And then as you're pushing your foot into the strap, bring that leg back up toward the ceiling. Great. All right, the leg that's on the floor, bring the foot onto the floor and then bend the leg knee that's up in the air and release it onto your bottom knee and then set the strap aside. Flex your top foot, lift your bottom foot up off the floor, bring it in, reach through and around, grab that right thigh and pull in. And this might be a nice place for you. You might enjoy exploring a little movement to one side and back to center. Little movement, just a small movement here to the other side and back to center, and then hugging in maybe a little closer for one more breath. And then release it. Right foot down and left foot down. Great. Okay. We are ready to move into our final relaxation. So if you want to take a little time now to set yourself up to be warm and comfortable, this would be a really nice time to do that. So maybe you need a pillow or a blanket or something under your head or your knees. Offer that to yourself, set yourself up. We're going to take these final minutes for relaxation. And so as you're lying back, settling in, what was that thing that you wanted to weave into your practice today? Now that you've completed your practice, how does it feel? Does it feel like that is still the thing that is a really good thing to focus on, to offer yourself? Maybe just feel like you're washed with that quality. You know, I often use love and compassion as the default. Maybe that's what you're offering yourself today. Maybe it's something else. But as you're lying back and resting into the floor, can you just feel that you're just washed with whatever that quality is? It's just kind of washing over you and washing into you. So that as we lie back for this final few minutes of our practice, we can just feel ourselves kind of infused with this quality. Let that quality settle into your body, your mind, your spirit, as your body is relaxing into the floor. The weight of the body is releasing into the floor. And the weight of that quality that you're focusing on is settling into your body. And there's this very strong connection between our bodies and our minds. So that when the body relaxes, the mind can be a part of that. It can experience that relaxation. And as we wash this quality into our bodies, we can let that same quality just wash into our mind so that we're just filled with love or kindness or patience or gratitude or abundance or whatever it is. You can just feel it within us. And we're just going to rest in that now for a few minutes. And as you continue lying back, I'm just going to share a reading with you. I shared this yesterday, but I really like it and I'm going to share it again. It's from Mark Nepo. It's called Beginning Again. And he says, creation is ongoing. The world begins anew each day. This is the miracle that makes not a sound, but which changes everything, if we can be quiet enough to feel it happen. When we can participate in this, we can begin anew each day. Consider how the sun washes the earth with its heat, and then clouds dissipate and grasses grow and stones crumble when no one is looking to reveal a smoother, deeper face. It is the same with us. In a moment of realness, the clouds in our mind clear and our passion is restored, and our walls crumble when no one is looking. It all continues and refreshes if we let it. It all renews so subtly. We think it is night that covers the world, but everything living is recreated in that mysterious moment of rest that blankets us all. And each time you blink, if you pause to let your heart flutter with nothing but air to flutter about, each time you open your eyes, you can begin again. It's true. This is the moment of resurrection, the opening of our eyes. So, as you prepare to open your eyes, can you do so and just see the world anew? So I invite you to open your eyes. And, there's this thing called beginner's mind, having the eyes of a child, just letting the world in with a fresh perspective, letting go of all our, pre-held judgments and thoughts. So maybe that's something we want to try today. So you can slowly transition and make your way up to sitting. If you're not already there, you could take a few moments and close out your practice with some thought, meditation, reflection, whatever. Thank you all for being here this morning. Peace.